Well, I've managed to slip away for the weekend. Now, I'm not driving the normal car I would normally drive. This one's a lot quieter, a lot smoother. It's definitely a lot cooler inside, that's for sure. I'm actually in a Prado and I'm going out to test the new Oztent rooftop tent. Now, I've heard so much about this tent and I am just so super excited to test this thing out because it sort of ticks every box that I've heard about. From ventilation to the electronic box inside it, to the innovation and attention to detail that's gone into this thing, and you can add so many little extras to it. Now this thing, it covers every aspect of your traveling and trips throughout the whole of Australia. So it's not built for, to put on your Suzuki Sierra. It's built for a vehicle that wants to go remote for a long time. So they're built very, very well. So I'm going to put it to the test and see how it goes. And me in a Prado, well, let's just see how that goes. Well, I am super excited. I've got the RTC 1400 from Oztent. Now, this tent I've heard so many stories about. We've got a great little campsite here for the next day or two to check it right out. Now, I've heard about the ventilation, the storage, and the electrical system in it. So come with me and check it out. Something I really love is attention to detail. Now, these locks, they've got 4 of them on the tent. Now, they're that simple that you just put your thumb under and unclip it. But not only that, they're lockable and they're adjustable.
With a simple push up, the rooftop is now open.
I love this. You've got a bungee cord, you've got them inside as well. But the great part is they thought of putting in a little pocket just to put them away so they're not hanging around or you've got to store them somewhere. Love it. This is for, packing it back down. But you can unclip it, pop it in the pocket out of the way for when you're set up. But at the same time, once you've packed down, you unclip it, put it back in the pocket, out of the way, and then clip it back in when you go and put it back up. So the good part when you're hooking up the ladder is you can keep the bag on. Another great feature is the ladder locking system. Now, it's just a twist and then you're in. It locks it in. And then the other great feature is I've still got the bag on, so I'm not rubbing my paintwork, which is really good, I think. Now, the ladder itself is a drop down. Now, this is pretty big, so, keeping the rain out would work a treat. Now, I'm just going to put these little bars in. They just slot in on an angle, making sure you got it like that, bend it up, and then pop it in. Pretty simple and works a treat. Now, that works, gives you plenty of shade or keeps you out of the rain. But the one thing I do love is this part. So this is a gusseted window. So I zip this up, and then I zip the other side up, and then I roll it up. And the great part is you've still got the window there screened, but also on the inside, you've got it so it seals it all up. So if it does start pouring with rain, you're still covered. Now, to make it simpler, you've got a stiffener bar that makes it really easy to wind it back up. So I'm going to continue putting it up and then I'm going to show you the inside.
I really have been amazed just how easy the Oztent is to set up. This tent has been designed and thought out for the end user.
When they said to me about airflow in this tent, they weren't kidding. You've got 6 big windows in here. 3 of them you can use as doors. But at the front, what I love is they've got this screened window down there. But at the same time, if I unzip it across the top, it opens it completely up to let the air come in and just cycle through a full 360 in here. It's just incredible. But on every window, you have got a cover if it rains. Well, whether you want to call it a skylight or a moonroof, it is amazing. Now, last night I got caught in a bit of a storm here, and the lightning that come through there was spectacular. Absolutely incredible. It's funny, I wasn't here just to test whether it was waterproof or not. It actually happened. Well, we've got plenty of storage in here. You've got over 30 pockets. We've got for the remote, the keys, your power bank storage. You've got just pockets for everything, your bungee cords. The one thing I do love is up here, we've got a clear screen up here for the iPad. And so, you put the kids up in here, they can lay back, but sit there and watch that iPad. I think that's pretty cool. Plus we've got a shelf that flips down, which is pretty handy. Put the cup up there or drink. But On the sides, we've got drink holders that sit in the side as well. So that's another storage compartment. So there's just ample of storage up in here. When it comes to an electrical system in a rooftop tent, I have never seen anything quite like this. It has got it covered in pretty well every aspect. So we've got LED lights down the side on both sides. We've got a USB and USB-C up here. Now that can feed down to the iPad to keep it charging. You've got 2 fans, you've got 2 reading lights, and it's all controlled by a remote control, and you've got a panel just here which is the control board. But amazingly enough, you've got a button that you can push and add your sensor lights. So you want to get up at night and go down to the toilet or anything, you can have the actual lights come on so you can see yourself getting down the ladder, but at the same time you can leave the sensor lights on at night for if somebody's walking around outside and you're not aware of it. So it is pretty cool how they've covered pretty well every aspect. But on the control panel over here is you've got all your USB-C ports where you can plug your phone chargers in and all that sort of stuff, but you can control your lighting, dimming it up and down, you control your speed of your fans. Pretty incredible. I've never seen nothing like it, and I tell you, it ticks every box for me, but at the same time, the attention to detail, it's just very luxurious. Well, it's got all the features of comfort with a 70mm mattress, but at the same time a cotton sheet on that which is removable so you can wash it, and then it's got an anti-condensation mat that's underneath that as well. Something I do find unique with this is the X-frame. Now that helps with the gas strut when putting this up, but at the same time you've got this strut lock that locks it in place so that the rooftop doesn't come down. So what we have here is the 50 amp plug. Now this is a waterproof, dust-proof plug, so it's not just your normal plug. So there's a lot more gone into this, and that plugs straight into there, just like that, and it's a nice solid fit, so it's not going to wriggle out or wobble out. If you haven't got power at the front here, you've always got the redundancy of a battery bank. Now that can plug into the back there, and that will go straight to your control center and run your lights internally and externally. You know, something I really love is the channeling system they've got on this. The extrusion on the top and the bottom of the tent for putting like the solar panel brackets up there, the max tracks, your awning, your shower tent, you name it, you can actually slide it in, lock it into place and fit it that simply. So I've come up with a few solutions after mucking around with the tent today. Now I've looked at the aspect of how I would use this tent and how I think it's going to suit me a lot better. Now the tent's not going to be for the faint-hearted, it's not going to be for the weekend warrior, it's going to be for the person that wants to go remote and actually put the tent into use, because the design, the construction, the way the tent's built, it's absolutely incredible. The strength features, if you look all the way through it and the way it's done, are amazing. It's not going to be for the Suzuki Vitara or the Jimny or something like that, or any of the smaller cars. It's going to be for a tray-back ute, it's going to be for a truck, it's going to be for a trailer, it's going to be for those sort of situations where you're going to put it into use, because we're starting to get into the weight factor. And the weight factor comes into a lot of different places when you look at all the different tents that are out there. And if you look at any of the decent tents that are made, they're getting up there in weight. Now, I think this weighs in at about 95, 96 kilos, somewhere in that vicinity. But then you look at some of the other tents and they're right up to 109, 110 kilos. So if you look on the average of any of the weights of these rooftop tents, they're up there. So where I see this going to be best used is on the bigger vehicles. Now, another thing I've looked at is price point. When you look into tents, now I've been waiting for this particular sort of tent for quite some time because of what I'd heard about the tent. If you look at this and the construction and the way it's built, the ventilation, the power system that comes with it, not an added extra, but comes with it, sensor lighting, reading lighting, fans, you've got cubby holes for just about everything. It's well priced when you're looking at buying something that's constructed to go out back, go remote and get put through the torture test. That's what's going to do it for sure. Now, let's look at the warranty on this. Now, the warranty on this rooftop tent is 3 years. That's not something to sneeze at. And the great part about that, if you are remote, everything in this thing, it's all plug and play. So you can pull it out and plug it back in and put a new item in there. It's not having to go and, can this be replaced? Can that be done? You know, it's not about looking at those sorts of things. But anyway, I'm gonna end it there because I've got tea to cook. I've got a beautiful view, so I'm gonna get into that. So I'll catch you next time, guys.